Good day to you, YouTube subscribers. Today's video is on some Cobra 29s, Comptune 29s. Now, basically, I get asked this question all the time. You know, what makes my radios so much better than the competition out there? Now, this particular rig right here was brought to me. They had it done at a place on the East Coast here. I'm not giving up no names. I don't want to badmouth anybody. But what I do versus what they do. Okay. That's the total question here. And that's the question I get asked all the time. Now, I'm not going to say that the radio doesn't make good watts. It makes really good watts. I mean, it's not bad at all. The biggest problem that I have with most of these other comp radios out there is, in order for them to get all the power that they're trying to get out of them, they seem to decompress the audio. They compress it. I shouldn't have said decompress, but they compress the audio in them. They compress them so bad that I hear a lot of them out there on the air sound like they're very nasally sounding. I'm sure that maybe they could go through some mics and stuff like that, maybe get some of it out, but the majority of them that I hear on the air are nasally sounding. And the reason that is because they're just trying to push too much out the radio, adding capacitors, doing this, doing that, instead of letting components work naturally and for them. Some of it has to do with the type of finals they're using, all the components they're changing in the radio, and so on. But what we have here today is I'm going to show you a demo. Okay, and basically I have this radio right here. This came from you know, another guy that Comptunes radios here on the East Coast, my competition basically. And then this is another 29 that came from the same fella. It was Comptune for one of my locals. He brought it by here, said he was getting some bad reports, you know, basically the same thing of what I said, you know, nasally audio, this kind of stuff. And we brought it in and I just reworked it, you know. Basically I pulled a whole slew of stuff that this guy puts in here, and you know, the worst is you can't see most of these surface components. This guy uses a lot of surface stuff, and I guess to hide his work, which I don't blame him, because there's so many copycats out there these days. You know, everybody's copying everybody's work out there. We seem to become a nation of technicians that are just copycats, not real technicians. But he brought the radio into me, and we redid a whole bunch of stuff in it and put it our way. So I figured I'd just give a quick demo of theirs versus mine. Now, these are relatively pretty much within the same time frame that these two radios were tuned. So it's not like I'm trying to show something that's a few years old or something of that nature. They were pretty much tuned at around the same time. So let's get on with the test. We're going to start with Brand X here. And basically what we got going on is we're going to go through the bird meter. I'm not going to hook up spectrum analyzers. I'm not going to go that far into it because we could really get into some nasty stuff with the spectrum analyzer. But I'm just going to work the meters. We got a 50 watt slug in here, RMS. Over here I'm reading my peak RMS. Okay, we're on the 100 watt scale. Okay, so we're actually going to read the very the middle scale. So the 5 would be 50, the 6 would be 60, the 7 would be 70, of course. And then what I'm going to do just to verify everything is I'll stick the 100 watt slug in there, and we'll stick the Bird 43P on peak. So let's get the show on the road. Basically, we're going to start with each radio at about a 3 bird dead key. Yeah. It's about 13.5 out of it, 13.5 RMS. Really good watts, not bad. Yeah. About 55 on the peak. Okay, now there's no sense of me hitting peak on the 43P, so I'm just going to go ahead and switch out slugs, and we're going to go straight for the peak. 43P peak on a 100 watt bird slug. Oh, yeah. So it's showing about 68. So we're going to go with that. I'm going to switch back to the 50 because I'm actually going to switch radios. That's what I'm going to do. Now, I'm on a stock voltage, 13.8, so, you know, I'm not trying to do anything flamboyant here. All I'm going to do is we're going to switch over. I'm not going to do anything else but just switch. And take this, it's all with a stock mic. Now, this is what I usually tell most of my customers we don't go with anything else, but usually I sell them a stock mic, one that we found that fits the best with these radios. Okay, let's get it at a 50-watt slug, just to be safe, you know, 3 watts, 50. Oh, yeah, 15 and a half. Peak, RMS peak. Almost 70 on RMS peak. So what do you think it's going to do to my Bird 43P? You know, and this is generally what I do in here. Normally, I don't usually see these kind of watts. Usually we'll see a good 70 out of them. 75 somewhere in there on the 43P. But I haven't even checked this radio on the 43P. So let's see what she's doing. Oh, yeah. So a good 90. And this isn't the first 29 that I've put on my YouTube pages, you know, doing really, really good watts. And then, of course, I know people are going to come in there and say, well, you didn't put it on the O-scope. I bet it splatters everywhere. Well, guess what? The limiter's still in the radio. Okay? This radio don't have the limiter in it. My radios, I leave the limiter intact. Actually, when I get a radio in here and the limiter's out of it, I put it back. Okay? Clean is mean. You can make watts with radios and still be clean. And I know it's a hard concept. It's hard to fathom, but that's the truth. That's the reason why most of my radios are so daggone loud out there and we put out the power. Now, I'm not going to sit here and tell somebody what final I'm using and what I'm doing and this and that. I'm not volting finals. I'm not doing any of that. That's the craziest nonsense in the world. We're talking an AM only radio, 13.8 volts going into it. How do you volt the final? Okay? That's just nonsense. That's a bunch of hoopla. You know, I don't use IRF 520s. Okay? I don't use ERF 2030s. I use a final that I went through data sheets. I bought many sample supplies, tested, rechecked, spectrum analyzed, O-scoped, the whole 9 yards. Okay? These are the tunes that I come up with. But, you know, enough said on that. Hope y'all enjoyed the videos. Hope it was a learning experience for you. Brand X versus No Name Tune. Have a wonderful day. Hope y'all enjoy the videos. Hit like if you like it. Subscribe. Tell your friends. We're here at No Name Amps. We're here to answer any questions, help you out. We love to talk to everybody. Y'all have a super fine day. Stickman 73s, and I'm gone.